When I was a little kid, I used to wonder, why do we need sleep? I thought it was such a waste of time. Why did I need to spend 8 hours of each day sleeping when I could be playing with all my super cool toys? Now, as a young adult, I greatly value sleep, and I wish I could go back to the days where I got a minimum of 8 hours of sleep a night. I am now a college student who is trying to maintain good grades while balancing a social life. Unfortunately, I've let sleep become a lesser priority in my life. I have experienced much sleep deprivation and its effects firsthand, along with obtained research from various credible sources. Sleep deprivation is a serious medical condition that can have a major impact on our lives. Today in my speech, I will be discussing what sleep deprivation is, the effects it can have on our lives, and some tips for getting a better night's rest. What is sleep deprivation? Sleep deprivation occurs when an individual fails to get enough adequate sleep. The amount of sleep each person needs varies from person to person. According to the National Sleep Foundation, on average, most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Sleep deprivation can be caused by a variety of things, including voluntary behavior, personal obligations, work or school, or medical problems. Insomnia, which is the difficulty falling and or staying asleep, is one of the most common sleeping disorders. Almost everybody will occasionally suffer from insomnia. The amount of sleep, or lack thereof, we get each night affects our bodies. Humans need sleep, along with food, water, and oxygen to survive. Sleep is a vital indicator of our overall health and well-being. Did you know that you can die in 10 days without sleep, whereas it takes 14 days without food to starve to death? I guess in this case you could argue that sleep is more important than food. Lack of sleep can greatly affect your immune system. Dr. Eric J. Olson from the Sleep Center for Medicine found that studies show people who don't get enough quality sleep are more likely to get sick after being exposed to a virus. Lack of sleep can also affect how fast you recover if you are to get sick. Long-term lack of sleep also increases your risk for diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Not only does sleep deprivation affect your body physically, but it also affects you mentally and emotionally. One of the vital roles of sleep is to help us solidify and consolidate our memories. Overnight, information is transferred from our short-term to long-term memory. This is a process called consolidation. Lack of sleep also causes depression and stress. Dr. Chris Woolston, health and medical writer, said that the connection between stress and sleep is a two-way street. Just as stress interrupts sleep, lack of sleep can cause great stress. According to a recent study from the University of Alabama, college students are typically more sleep deprived than the general population. Based on my experience, I believe this is due to stress overload. On average, most college students get 6 to 6.9 hours of sleep a night, rather than the recommended 7 to 9. Based on research from the University of Georgia, it is shown that students who get 6 or fewer hours of sleep a night have a lower GPA than those who get 8 or more. This is because sleep deprivation slows down the mind, inhibits alertness, shortens the attention span, and causes lack of concentration. You may have had this preconceived idea that it's okay to drive after losing a few hours of sleep. But now with the knowledge I've given you about the effects that sleep can have on you, do you still believe this? Driving drowsy can be extremely unsafe. 24 hours of continuous wakefulness induces impairments in performance equivalent to those induced by a blood alcohol level of 0.1%. According to a National Sleep Foundation survey, 1/3 of all adult drivers say they've fallen asleep behind the wheel. The Institute of Medicine estimates that drowsy driving is responsible for 20% of all car crashes. On the bright side, I have some tips for you that can help you improve your sleep and prevent sleep deprivation from occurring or worsening. Stick to a sleep schedule. This will help regulate your body and help you fall and stay asleep at night. Avoid naps. If you have trouble falling asleep at night, eliminate naps during the day. Exercise daily. Physical activity improves sleep quality and increases sleep duration. This is because it reduces stress and it tires you out. Avoid alcohol, cigarettes, caffeine, and heavy meals late at night. These things can make uncomfortable indigestion, making it hard to fall asleep. Avoid technology 1 hour before sleep. The LED screens disrupt your production of melatonin, which regulates your sleep cycles. And last but not least, keep a worry journal. Keep a worry journal near your bed, and if you have any thoughts on your mind, write them down. And then forget about them until the morning. Don't stress over them while trying to fall asleep. In conclusion, sleep is a vital part of our lives. Not getting enough sleep could have detrimental effects on our bodies. If you experience sleep deprivation, try some of the tips I spoke about. If there is only one thing you take away from this speech, I hope it is the wise words that Dr. William Dement said, "You're not healthy unless your sleep is healthy."